Hi there guys, just before we get into it, this glare will be gone any minute now. I just wanted to say that to be in with a chance of winning both of these issues, get right to the end of the video, and I'll show you how you can do that. And I also want to say a massive thank you to all of my subscribers, because I hit over 500 this week, which in YouTube numbers is tiny, it's next to nothing, but for me it's absolutely wonderful. I'm really pleased. And also a massive shout out, well, I say shout out, they've asked me not to do a shout out for them, but I received a donation today, my first ever donation, and I'm thanking so much to the person that did that. And I've actually donated a copy of the Dreaded Amble expansion, which comes out this weekend for Blackstone Fortress. So what I'll do with that is I'll do an unboxing and review of that next week. So thank you so much, I really appreciate it. Let's get into it. So, issue number 25. This is the second part of the Redemptor Dreadnought. So as we can see, we've got the rest of the sprue with all the stuff. One weapon, not two. And I will build this in just a minute. What we'll do is, as per the current format, we'll have a quick skim over the magazine, we'll build the model and have a look, and then we'll take a much deeper dive of the mag. I will need this from last week as well, so we can build the model. Okay, so let's get through the mag quickly. So, issue number 25. What have we got? Discover more dreadnoughts, paint your Redemptor, powerful models in your games. Excellent. So, in this issue, it's time to complete your Redemptor. This issue you will build, paint and play with your mighty Dreadnought. We've provided guides to help you through this, including a tutorial mission that will teach you how to use powerful models like the Redemptor in your games. This issue also has more exciting articles about the Dreadnoughts, including 2 new types of Dreadnought and a look at the weapons wielded by these giant machines of war. So what have we got? Dreadnoughts, more information about them. Dreadnought Weapons, some of that sort of stuff, similar to last week it sounds like. Disciples of Decay, learn about the allies that accompany the Death Guard to war. The Redemptor Dreadnought, how to build it. Oh sorry, that's just the painting guide, sorry. And then tutorial mission 20 is Redemptor Strike. Your Redemptor takes to battle in this exciting mission. In tutorial 23, it's called Changing Datasheets. We explain how the Redemptor's datasheets change in play. Then we've got the actual datasheet itself. And then we've got Rules Mission 8, Fury Unleashed. The Death Guard attempt to destroy a mighty Redemptor. Okay, so what have we got? So we've got Space Marine Dreadnoughts, which is fine. This is more information which we'll go into deeply at the end. Information on Ironclad Dreadnoughts. So they're the most heavily armoured, it says here in the Space Marine chapters. They trade long-range weapons for thicker armour and devastating short-range weapons. Okay, they're more about Dreadnought Weapons. Goes into them, so just quickly, twin link las cannon, heavy plasma cannon, multi-melter, missile launcher, assault cannon, Dreadnought close combat weapon. So that's good. Then we've got information about Disciples of Decay. The vast legion of the Death Guard do not always fight alone. They are often accompanied to war by a range of allies, most of whom have pledged allegiance to the grandfather Nurgle, Papa Nurgle. They range in power from men and women of fallen Astra Militarum regiments to giant corrupted war machines. Nice. I look forward to going through that at the end. Then we've got, alright, so these are more the allies. Dark Mechanicum, Traitor Guardsmen, of which you get a whole bunch in Blackstone Fortress. Traitor Knights and Traitor Titans. Abandon the teachings of the false emperor. Accept the blessings of grandfather Nurgle and turn your guns upon the failing Imperium. Lovely. Then we've got our Dreadnought, how we're going to paint it. So for that you need Nuln Oil, Agrax Earthshade, Astrogranite for the base, Abaddon Black, Leadbelcher, Retributor Armour, Mephisto Red and Raykarth Flesh. So that is 2 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages. Nice, that's good. So this is how it's going to look at the end. Obviously not at the end of the whole range. It will look more like this. Okay, tutorial mission 6 is called Redemptor Strike. In this battle you use your Redemptor Dreadnought for the first time. Play through this mission as you read the tutorial. When you're familiar with the Redemptor Dreadnought's rules, play through the exciting new mission provided at the end of this issue. So that's good. 1 Redemptor versus 3 Plague Marines, 5 Plague Marines, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Poxwalkers. Cool. Okay, so more again about the rules of the Redemptor Dreadnought. Changing data sheets. So what this is going to do is we'll tell you how the stats change as the Redemptor takes more damage, which is good. And the following examples show you how damage dealt to Redemptor Dreadnought affects its characteristics, specifically its movement and ability to fight. The more damage the Dreadnought takes, the less effective it becomes. Then we've got the data sheet, which is cool. 13 wounds, which is good. So again, we've got Fragstorm, grenade launcher, heavy flamer, heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, and the Redemptor fist. That's good. So then we've got our mission Fury Unleashed. The Redemptor Dreadnought Tiberius swept his mechanical arm out, smashing through a solid concrete wall into the street beyond. He could sense the taint of chaos in the thick air and the results of the Death Guard invasion scattered across the city. Okay, so that's good. So we'll get into that more again in a minute as well. Might versus Blight. So let's have a quick look. Our 2 armies for this one are 5 Plague Marines, 12 Poxwalkers, and the Mephitic Blight Hauler against the Dreadnought and 5 Intercessors. So that's a decent little battle. And then we look forward to our next couple of issues. So I'm sure everyone will be crying their eyes out about next week's, which is some paint. So we get a resupply of Abaddon Black, and then we get a shade of Reichland Flesh Shade. And then issue number 27, when things start going big again, we're going to get the Death Guard Rhino tank, which will be split again over 2 issues, which is amazing. So that's good. Right. Let's have a look at our little friend. So what I'll do is I'll quickly cut all these out in number order, just so as we can get cracking. Okay, so while I quickly knock this mini up, I just wanted to say that I'm really blown away by the donation I got this week. The Dreaded Amble was a expansion that I was going to be buying myself anyway, because I've been really looking forward to it. So thank you so much to my subscriber who did do that. And I wanted to say that this is the last time I'll mention this in the middle of the video. Anything to do with, you know, donating to the channel or anything like that in the future will only ever appear right at the very end. So if you do want to donate anything to me, there's a link in the description to my PayPal account or my paypal.me account. So if you want to donate anything, you can do so there. Just in the same way that if you want me to do something specific with your donation, just let me know what it's for and I will absolutely do that. What I can promise you is that any donation I ever receive will go directly back into the channel, so it will only ever go into content for this channel. So sorry to the people that don't like hearing this kind of thing, just ignore it. Like I say, you'll never hear it in the middle of a video ever again. I also wanted to mention that in last week's issue I said that if I got 3,000 videos across the 2 issues that I would be giving those copies away. I just wanted to let you know now that I'm pushing that down to 2,500 because last week's video didn't do particularly well and I still want to keep it open for people to be able to win it. So yeah, 2,500 across the 2 videos and I would definitely give it away. I also used to do a review every 4 issues. It didn't really get many views and not many comments and that kind of thing, but a few of you have asked for that to come back. So if that is indeed something that people want, let me know, and those kind of every 4 issues will get a mini review of what happened across that time. Other than that, I will absolutely commit to doing one every 10 issues. So there'll be another one of those coming up in a few weeks' time. I have to say that was ridiculously straightforward. So the assembly there, I haven't glued it yet, but I will. But so the assembly there took maybe 90 seconds, and it looks pretty damn terrific. Very nice indeed. I like it. So what I'm going to do is, in the past I've kind of hinted at maybe doing a few painting tutorials or something like that. Now I have thought about it, doing it a number of times, and I've never actually bothered with it, and quite simply it's because my painting isn't that great, so I've kind of shied away from it. However, big shout out to Midwinter Minis, which is a fantastic YouTube channel, which I urge you to look at. And I've been following his tutorials at painting some of my Blackstone Fortress stuff, which, whilst it is absolutely flawed and not perfect, I am at least very happy with. So, on the basis of some of this kind of mediocre paint job, if you want me to do a painting guide for this, I absolutely will. So if you let me know kind of by the end of the week if you want me to do a painting guide for this, I will do it, and I'll be totally upfront with you. If it turns out to be a load of crap, I won't put it out there. So there you go. If you want that, let me know and I'll do it. Let's go back now to our in-depth look at the magazine. And for any of you who haven't seen any of my videos before, all I'm going to do is literally read all of the text and then kind of give my opinions on it. Okay, so Space Marines Dreadnoughts. Contemptor Dreadnoughts are amongst the oldest vehicles in the armories of the Space Marines. They date from the dawn of the Imperium. Whilst few Contemptors remain in operation, those that do are true marvels of human engineering and reminders of humanity's former glory. So that's these guys. The Contemptor Pattern Dreadnought is a truly ancient design. It is fusion of war engine and intern Space Marine that dates to the Emperor's rise on Terra. These giant machines were regularly seen on the battlefields of the Great Crusade, fighting alongside the Space Marine legions. The knowledge required to create a new Contemptor Dreadnoughts has long been lost, and they have only rarely been seen on the battlefield since the end of the Horus Heresy. And a little tagline down the bottom today. First one is, the blood of martyrs is the seed of the Imperium. So that's good. Okay, and now Ironclad Dreadnought. So you can see quite clearly there's a massive difference. So these ones, Gatling guns, kind of a decent range weapon. And these ones, bolters, so a little bit more up front. And I believe that's a flamer on there, but very, very much more armoured. Ironclad Dreadnoughts are the most heavily armoured dreadnoughts in the Space Marine chapters. They trade long-range weapons for thicker armour and devastating short-range weapons. They often lead attacks on heavily defended enemy positions, shrugging off the defenders' massed firepower. Like living battering rams, they crash through enemy defences, smashing fortified positions to pieces with their seismic hammers or tearing apart enemy infantry with chain fists and hurricane bolters. Ironclad Dreadnoughts are the ultimate siege-breaking war machine. Okay, so now we're going to look at the Dreadnought Weapons. Space Marine Dreadnoughts are versatile war machines. They can be equipped with a variety of different weapons depending on your enemies they are fighting. depending on the enemies they are fighting or the battlefield role they are being asked to undertake. There are a wide range of different Dreadnought types, and each can be loaded with different weapons. Ironclad Dreadnoughts, for example, focus on close range melee combat. Other Dreadnoughts are equipped for range combat with a missile launcher and another heavy gun. Dreadnoughts are armed to be tactically flexible with a long range gun and a close combat weapon. These weapons can be changed between battles by the Tech Marines who maintain the chapter's vehicles. Whatever their task on the battlefield may be, Dreadnoughts can equip weapons for the role. Okay, so just to quickly run through them. Twin Link Las Cannon. Las Cannons are powerful long-range anti-tank weapons. They can also combat alien and demonic monsters. Heavy Plasma Cannon. Heavy Plasma Cannons are extremely powerful but are dangerous to use when overcharged. Multi-Melter. Multi-Melters fire short-range concentrated beams of superheated energy that melt enemy armour. Missile Launcher. Missile launchers are used with another ranged weapon. They can fire anti-infantry and anti-armour missiles. The Assault Cannon. The Assault Cannon is a short-ranged anti-infantry weapon with an incredibly high rate of fire. And Dreadnought Close Combat Weapon. Dreadnoughts often have grasping, crushing arms that can tear enemies limb from limb or rip a tank apart. Lovely jubbly. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so now we're looking at the Disciples of Decay, who I know nothing about, so that's really good. The vast legion of the Death Guard do not always fight alone. They are often accompanied to war by a range of allies, most of whom have pledged their allegiance to Grandfather Nurgle. They range in power from men and women of fallen Astra Militarum regiments to giant corrupted war machines. The Death Guard are a powerful force on the battlefield and have won thousands of victories through their toughness and persistence. Sometimes, though, even they come up against a force that they are ill-equipped to deal with. For this reason, they are supported by slaves, allies and worshippers of Nurgle. These followers undertake many tasks in support of the war effort. Traitorous Astra Militarum regiments provide siege weapons and heavy tanks to break down enemy formations. Vast but mobile, Traitor Knights engage heavy targets. Colossal Titans dominate the battlefield, blasting down enemy war machines and breaking through energy shields and reinforced fortifications. The Dark Mechanicum lend their talents too. Their flesh forges create all manner of twisted demon engines for Mortarian's vast legions. Only fools listen to the heretics' lies. Okay, so the Dark Mechanicum. They are responsible for creating the most twisted war machines in the Death Guard's armories. The servants of the Dark Mechanicum who choose to worship Nurgle have learned the secrets of living rust, viral scrap code and machine poxes. They use this dark wisdom to fashion living engines of flesh, metal and demonic energy. Okay, Traitor Guardsmen. Humanity is easily corrupted. Heresy can spread through the hives and armies like wildfire. Whilst any Chaos cults are dangerous foes, those armed with the equipment and training of the Astra Militarum regiments are particularly deadly. They couple their military abilities with a fanatical devotion to the Dark Gods. They're also capable to field all manner of heavy tanks. Okay, the Traitor Knights. The noble knights of the Imperium rarely fall to chaos. So seriously do they take their oaths of service. Those that betray or fail their house in some manner are often exiles to live their lives as free blades. These solitary warriors are more likely to be tempted by the Dark Gods. On the rare occasion that the entire house is full, the Death Guard gain the terrifying force of the allies. Nice. Okay, and Traitor Titans. The Traitor Titan legions are terrible foes. Each of these towering war machines carries enough firepower to reduce a whole city to rubble and slaughter the entire armies to the last man. The names of their most infamous traitor Titan legions, such as Legio Mortis and Legio Excruciatus, are whispered in fear across the vastness of the Imperium. Abandon the teachings of the false Emperor, accept the blessings of Grandfather Nurgle and turn your guns upon the failing Imperium. I think I already said that. Okay, next tagline, I'm not going to go through all the paints. Life is a prisoner, death a release. Forgiveness is a sign of weakness. Sins hidden in the heart turn all to decay. Okay, so now we're looking on to tutorial mission number 20, Redemptor Strike. I'm just going to start with this bit. Battle introduction. The Ultramarines continue to drop weapons of war onto the surface of Corvon 2, including a powerful Redemptor Dreadnought. The Redemptor seeks to unleash its fury upon the vile warriors of the Death Guard. Plague Marines scramble for their weapons, herding Poxwalkers forward to block the Giant Walker with their mutated bodies. Destroying this deadly Dreadnought will be no easy task, even for an army as well trained and disciplined as the Death Guard. So what we're going to need: set up the playmat, obviously the Corvon 2 one, and gather your Ranger rulers, dice and data sheets. The Death Guard player needs 5 Plague Marines and 12 Poxwalkers. The Space Marine needs a Dreadnought. The Death Guard player chooses a short mat edge and deploys their models within 4 inches, and the Space Marine deploys their Redemptor within 4 inches of the opposite edge. The Death Guard player takes the first turn. Play until one side has no models remaining. In war, mankind's greatest attributes come to the fore. Okay, so Redemptor Dreadnought. So this is blah blah blah. So this is more information about the Dreadnought itself. We obviously know what they are now and that kind of thing. But this gives us some of the stuff about suffering damage. The Redemptor Dreadnought's characteristic profile changes as it takes damage. As it suffers more wounds, its characteristics are also reduced. Read tutorial 23 on the next page to find out how this works. This also explodes this unit. Be careful when attacking a Redemptor. When it's reduced to 0 wounds, roll a d6 before removing the model from the battlefield. On a 6 it explodes, and every unit within 6 inches suffers d3 mortal wounds. We learnt what d3 meant a few weeks ago. So basically you are rolling a d6, halving it and rounding up. So that's good. So we don't need to go through the rest of that because we know where we are. The following examples show you how damage dealt to Redemptor Dreadnought affects its characteristics. So this is exactly the same before. It's just got a visual indication of what we've just said. The Redemptor Dreadnought has taken damage in the battle. It only has 5 wounds remaining. It can now only move 6 inches in the move phase. So that's good. Then we've got our data sheet, and you know, this Dreadnought, he is a beast. He's a tough model. 13 wounds. That's more than anything we've had thus far. So yeah, so that's cool. Attack of 4 as well. So yeah, very very good model. Very very good. Okay, so mission briefing: Fury Unleashed. The Redemptor Dreadnought Tiberius swept his mechanical arm out, smashing through a concrete wall into the street beyond. He could sense the taint of chaos in the thick air and see the results of Death Guard invasion scattered across the city. Fallen brothers lay all around, their blue armour scarred and shattered, blood congealed beneath their broken forms. He felt rage raise within him, knowing that he hated the Death Guard. Knowing the Death Guard must still be nearby. He would have to rejoin his allies, but first he would make time for vengeance. Limbs whirring into action, he strode forward, following the trail of destruction down the city street towards the Death Guard positions. He smashed through barricades and rubble, his heavy onslaught cannon spinning ready to open fire at a moment's notice. Ahead he spotted the enemy, Plague Marines followed by a mob of Poxwalkers. They raised their weapons at him and began to fire. Bolt rounds smashed into his thick armour but failed to make even a dent as they were deflected away. He embraced his anger and broke into the lumbering charge, his heavy onslaught Gatling cannons spitting hot death towards the enemy lines. He closed in, bellowing in fury just as one of the Plague Marines raised a plasma gun to fire. Hope is the first step on the road to disappointment. Okay. So that's our setup for this mission. So the reality is, what have we got here? So you got 2 zones here. In one side you got a 6-inch deployment, and you got actually the same in the other one. So that is basically Dreadnought in one side and all your Death Guard stuff in the other one. The Redemptor Dreadnought Tiberius and Squad Decatus have attacked the Death Guard patrol, calling in heavy support of their own. Death Guard counterattacked with a Mephitic Blight Hauler, seeking to destroy Tiberius quickly. Okay, place any terrain models that you have on top of their images in the playmat. Players may then add any additional terrain that they like to the playmat. The deployment zones extend from 6 inches from the short edges of the playmat. So the armies are 5 Plague Marines, 6 Poxwalkers and Mephitic Blight Hauler versus the Dreadnought and 5 Intercessors. Deployment, again, 6 inches from the sides. Victory condition. 2 victory points for for Space Marines, 2 victory points for eliminating the Blight Hauler, 1 victory point for each other enemy eliminated. The Death Guard, 3 points for the Dreadnought, 1 point for anything else. The game lasts for 5 battle rounds. Fear not, traitors. I shall wash away your sins with fire. Okay, so that's that. So that's good. So before I close up, I'm just going to say that if you want to win a copy of issue number 25 and 24, so as you can make this model, so you have this model for yourself, and obviously have all the cool stuff that's in the magazine as well. All you need to do is subscribe and drop a comment on either this video or last week's video. And what I'm going to do is, if you comment on both, I'll basically give you you'll have an extra opportunity to win. So it will be drawn out of a hat. So if you do a comment on each one, you get your name in the hat twice. If you just do it on one, you only get it once. And so what I'll do is, this competition is worldwide, so it doesn't matter where you live. As long as Royal Mail would post it to you, you are in with a chance of winning. So again, all you need to do is subscribe and comment, and that is it. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate all my new followers, and indeed all of my followers from day one. But I'm really enjoying this series. I think this is a great issue as well. A little bit flimsy maybe in content on the magazine, but I think we generally notice that when we get the more interesting stuff, the more interesting models tends to lead to a slightly more dull magazine. But there you go. Thanks very much, guys. As usual, like and subscribe and all that nonsense. That would be awesome. And I shall catch you next week with issue number 26.